Hello everyone and welcome to today's live video. My name's Jodie, co-founder of The 7 Effect, and I am really thrilled to actually bring you an amazing client of mine. Her name's Fiona Burnett, who's actually an energy worker and forensic healer. Now, Fiona and I were chatting, I think it was a week or two ago, about her business and her new program that she's creating and taking to the market. And what was really amazing was, as she was talking me through some of the work she was doing, I was so blown away and also so curious that I had to get her on here. And I said, can we actually do a live demo of this energy reading thing that you're offering people? And she was just crazy enough in the moment to agree to it. So let me bring her on. Welcome, Fiona. Now I have to give you a bit of a loud...
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, look, it's my absolute pleasure. And by the way, if anyone is watching live, I see we've got a couple of viewers watching live, do type in the chat and say hello. And do feel free to ask your own questions of Fiona as we go through this interview. So Fiona, tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, so basically from a young age I always knew that there was more to life than this, like to us and what we do every day. I grew up listening to stories of my parents and their intuition and where it brought them, and even in my own childhood I was just thinking about this the other day. I had full-on premonitions of things that were about to happen, but like really random things. Like I saw the night before that this little boy at school had a patch over his eye, and when I got to school the next day, he did have a patch on his eye, and it was just, it was the craziest thing. And as what happens, and I've
You've
just
got the magic
cat
cat here
us.
as well.
Yes.
Clearly this helps with the woo-woo vibes. You've got to have a crazy cat.
Right. And as it was at that time, I told the teacher, and I was like, I knew that, whoever had was going to come to school with a patch on his eye, and she was just like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Like, nobody would have known that. Yeah. But through the years and as it happens, like, it's just been something I've always been curious about. And, my mum and her connection to angels, it's just, something else. And so I learned to ask them for help, and I've always been curious and wanted to learn more and know more. So my journey's really taken me through a lot of different courses and different areas where I have learned a whole heap more, and it's really brought me to what I do now, which is incorporating forensic healing and energy medicine into the sessions that I hold for my clients.
Brilliant. And can you tell us a little bit about, because that's one of the things that really pricked up my interest, forensic healing, because I know this is something that you've studied and you're certified in, but what does it actually mean? Like, what is forensic healing?
Yeah, forensic healing was founded by a lady, actually she's an Australian lady called Marisa Russo, and forensic healing is all about energy healing but grounded into science. And, it's really, that's what I loved about it, because it's so, I'm a very grounded person, and I love science and things like that, and learning about the mind and how the brain works and all of that kind of stuff. So the forensic healing is like a kind of a set protocol where you get guided along the way, and you use your intuition, but also your biofeedback, which everyone knows and has. And so you're using those kinds of feedback to gain answers of what's happening in your life. So it's all about the energetic field, what you're holding in your energetic field. Yeah. And because I've been studying forensic healing since 2014.
Wow, that's 6 years.
You really you just dive deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and you can just pick up more and more things. So, it's all about having your permission to jump into your energy field, and I can kind of interpret what's happening on an energetic level around whatever it is that you're holding as a challenge.
Brilliant. And we're going to do a live demo in a moment. Now, Fiona, you can't see the comments that are coming up on the screen, but we've got Kate Gardner, who's also in the Lifestyle Business Builder here, and she said, great sharing and so needed. She is amazing, Marissa, so go sister. Kate's a fellow spiritual energy worker and right into all of this sort of stuff as well. So thanks for being here, Kate, you gorgeous lady.
Thanks,
it's great
Kate.
to have you.
Yeah.
This is totally up her alley.
Yeah.
So when you were studying, or since 2014, you said, which is interesting, that's the year that the Seven Effect was launched as well. What are some of the specific things that you actually do in this study? So what are the things that you're learning?
There's a whole lot. So it's all about, it's like I guess our challenges and the way things show up in our life. Yeah. It's like peeling an onion. Like you uncover the first layer. You know, you might be working on, self-worth issues and things like that, and then you put two and two together, and then you kind of focus on that and release all of that negativity that you are carrying with you. Yeah. And then, that kind of takes you on to the next thing. So you might have another challenge around, connection to spirit. If you want to really take that to the next level, then you work on what's blocking you. So, the clients, when I started to see clients in this, like there was just all kinds of problems, I guess, and challenges that people were facing that they would come to me with. And since then, forensic healing, was the catalyst that propelled me in, and that led me to believe I can do this, because I was actually really good at finding out, what the triggers are for people and where it first came from. And then when I got more into energy medicine, which is just all about channeling and directing energy on a quantum level, so just going, to the space in between the cells, it's just opened up a whole new just opportunities, for growth and for healing. So I have people that, are in this world, like in the healing kind of space, that just want to evolve and ascend. And I've got people who've never heard of this woo-woo stuff come to me because they've tried everything to get rid of a fear or a phobia, for example, and I've actually helped them do it. So, it's just so rewarding.
One of the things that I love about working with you and learning more about this incredible work that you do is you are very grounded, and you are quite a realist, and you're quite pragmatic. So it's a nice blend when you find what I would call a woo-woo worker. I love that you can laugh at that and go, I'm in a bit of a weird woo-woo space. But you're actually a very real, lovely, normal person who just happens to work with people from all over the world to help them do this kind of magical stuff, which is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some of the most, have you got one like really amazing or interesting story you could share of a client? Obviously you don't have to mention any names, but just a shift or an experience that someone's had through this work, Fiona.
Oh my gosh, so many. But one that really comes to mind, a really lovely gentleman, and he's in Europe, and he's found me through like a family member who had a session with me, and he decided to give it a go. He's into meditation.
I love that men will do this too. That's great.
Absolutely, yeah. He's into meditation, and that's probably as far as that kind of woo side of him goes. Yeah. But I helped him with a fear of flying and being in Europe. Like he travels and enjoys traveling quite a bit with friends. They go off from the UK to Spain and to France, and they're traveling quite a bit. And he never enjoyed it, and it would stress him out. And it wasn't so much the flight itself, but it was that lead up to it. And through our sessions together, actually it was just the one session, I did his age reading, because there's always an age where this is embedded into your energy field. So something that you're experiencing today may have had its origins even in a past life.
Like a seed that was planted back in another time, or back in another earlier in your life. We've got Kim Hayden. Hey, Kim, thanks for joining in as well. She's saying this is an amazing modality as well.
Absolutely.
So you go all the way back, and you're going to actually do this with one of my things in a moment, aren't you? I'm a little nervous. I'm going to admit, it's like, oh, God, let's share with the world my baggage, which I tend to do.
For a good cause, Joan.
I do a lot of that anyway, so it's all good. But, you went back with him, and what did you find?
Yeah, so we went back, I don't recall what age came up, but it was around 5 or 6, somewhere in like childhood. And as, you know, I'll do with you a bit later, what do you recall about that time?
Yeah.
And he was walking home from school, and they were kind of walking near this like a river type body of water, and some older boys pushed him in, but he couldn't swim. So he was actually like stuck under the water, and when they pulled him out, he wasn't breathing. So it was cold. It was like winter time. So it was all of that feeling of him being underwater and trapped, and, you know, not able to help himself. Somehow later in life, when you're in an aeroplane, dry air, trapped, it just triggered that memory. So that's that. You know, that physiological response that says, you know, you need to get me out of here.
Panic.
Just, you know, exactly that panic.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I find with my clients, it's really funny. Once you put 2 and 2 together, you just almost immediately go, no way. Like that's, you know, that it makes so much sense. And then I follow. I either do, through my healings, I incorporate either energy medicine or forensic healing. Yeah. And forensic healing has a number of different pathways. So we did a bit of that as well. And it just allowed that energetic connection, that emotional connection from childhood to now. It's not needed anymore. You don't need that physiological response to say, you know, to keep the body safe. So, so now he's he was enjoying some holidays with friends, and he will maybe in the future too.
Yeah, brilliant. Not many people are enjoying flying around the world right now, but, you know, let's hope he can eventually. So I'm really excited to give this a crack, Fiona. And for those that are watching, if this is something that you're interested in, Fiona actually does have a website, which I'm going to put in the chat here, called the Transform Collective, which is where you can see all of the work that she does. But she's also offering, if you go onto her services page, Fiona is actually also offering a free 20-minute energy reading to anyone that tunes in and watches this. You can click there. Yeah, brilliant, which is pretty special, I think. So talk me through it. Pretend I am a real person that's going to do this with you. Let's give it a crack, shall we?
All right, excellent. So what I've done already, so I before I venture in to do any energy readings or healings, I just do a blessing for us both and invite protection and grounding in. So what I do is like communicate and get help from you metaphysically, I guess, and also through your spirit team. So any messages and things that can come through, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but I'll just relay everything that I feel. And so we've just got all of that protection in place. So what is your biggest challenge? What would you like to know more about, Jodie?
Well, I guess right now I'm pretty lucky. I don't have a too big a challenged life, and I'm very healthy. But I have noticed in the last year and a half or 2 years, I've put on weight and I'm really struggling to shift it. And it's almost becoming like this annoying obsession for me where I'm doing all the right things. I've done fast, I've done this, I've gone through this whole freaking detox to heal my body. It's like, why does it go, then come back and go? So this is my biggest challenge, my weight right now.
Okay. Right, so weight. So is it the fluctuation of what your weight
is? It's where it is now. I think I'm the biggest I've ever been, which I'm not happy with. Yeah. I'm dissatisfied in my own skin. Yeah.
So we'll just put maintaining, losing and maintaining.
Yeah, I'd love to be, where I used to be in my late 30s, early 40s. I'm 47 now, and I always just stayed around this place quite easily and comfortably. But now I've just gone to this new space where it's like, this is a new set point. I don't want this to be my set point. I want the old set point back.
Okay. Yep. So let's see. So biggest challenge, can I help Jodie work through this a little bit further? And we'll go to, so what is the negative life pattern? So I just asked this out loud, and I'm just waiting for like a response to come through, which I'll feel energetically from your energetic space. So what is the negative life pattern that's running this for Jodie? 1, 2, and I've got a list of these, so I'm just going to go through 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 12. So, and I just laugh because it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got in the negative life pattern, there's 18. The forensic protocol lists 18 negative life patterns, and they range from distrust to sacrifice, worthlessness, all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. But what's coming up for you, and I'll choose 2. The first one is power.
Okay.
So you're feeling like you don't have control, which is why I laugh, because that's underlying what you just mentioned. So, and the second one that's influencing this, 1 to 10, 12, 13, 15, is trapped, which is also what you just mentioned. You feel stuck and you can't, shift. So negative emotions. That is running these patterns. So I've got 17 here. So 1 to 10, what's keeping Jodie stuck? 1 to 10, I got 17 to 10, 12, 14. So it's unappreciated. So we want to basically take you from feeling unappreciated to feeling appreciated.
This is so freaky. Like I hope my family don't watch this with my partner.
And it could be self as well. So
but this is relating to conversations that have happened recently, like recently in my life, and been going on for about a year and a half. Yeah. So it's pretty funny, I have to say. We've got to laugh at ourselves, don't we?
Like you kind of start talking through it and you're just like, yeah.
I'm feeling you, Fiona.
So you mentioned you were 47, so let's find an age where this was first embedded and see what we can do. So 47, 40s, 30s, 20s, teens, childhood, teens, childhood. I'm getting around, so let me just get an actual age, 10. I'm getting around like that teen, pre-teen kind of age, 10, 11, 12. What can you tell me about age 12, Jones? When I say, around that time, what was happening?
We moved house and went to a new school. So I'd left year 7, and then we left the suburb that we were living in, and we moved to a new suburb, which meant that I went to a brand new school. And so in year 8, everyone was new, but most people had come from different schools and knew each other. So I didn't know anybody in year 12. But I felt very lucky because I made friends very quickly. People were very kind to me, and I made a beautiful friend, Angie, on like my first day, and another girl, Tanya, who lives next door to me, and it was really great actually. And around that age, because I was new, and this is a bit weird to talk about in situations like that, but I was like the new kid in school. Like a lot of boys were, paying me attention and saying nice things about me, but I was very shy, and I would grow bright red if a boy even looked at me. I was like, very embarrassed. So, yeah, that's pretty much what comes up, is just being that new person and not knowing anyone and being super shy and super embarrassed, and having a couple of boys, say, do you want to go out with me? And I think I went out with a couple of guys, but I never even spoke to them. It's, that era where his friend says, do you want to go out with him? And it's like, okay. Oh, so that's my boyfriend now over there, but I've never spoken to him. I don't even know what his name is. So that's kind of the age of 12, 13 for me. Yeah.
And how did you feel leading up to the move?
Pretty nervous, pretty scared. Like, I didn't want to leave my old friends behind. Nervous and scared, I would say. Like, going into a new school, I'm not going to know anyone. I, back then particularly, was an insanely shy person. So going up and talking to strangers was not something that I found easy to do.
Yeah.
I also remember around that age, like, there was a group of girls that didn't like me. They were like what we called the bogan girls, and they called me Barbie doll and things like that. So, there was all that stuff going on.
Yeah, there often is around that time. Yeah. I think every single person has experienced something like that. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. So I think that ties in really nicely, because you're, where you are now, you're not sure if you can make friends with yourself at this point. Okay. So maybe it's, all about having acceptance and knowing that you're in the right space at the right time.
Yep.
Yeah. And, just tying that back to, that trepidation almost of encountering like a brand new space that you don't know and aren't familiar with.
Yeah.
So we can look. What we would do in a full forensic healing energy medicine session is go through a lot more of the protocols and find the different spiritual and emotional connections to that.
Yep.
But for now, we can definitely go through. I'll just find the one that's going to most support you, and we will see what comes up. So let's go, and this will just change energetically. Whatever that link is to the past, and resolve those issues.
And are you able to know if that is the link, or is that congruent to you, or how do we know that? Because that's really the only thing coming up for me at that age that I can think of. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely, and I check that as we go. So as you're mentioning those things, I'm checking in. Marisa, through her forensic healing instruction, calls it like an energy shift. So she feels it physically, like a pushback of energy. I just feel it. I just get more of a sense of knowing of it. Along the way, I'm always checking in and asking, like, if that's the right thing. And that's why I moved the conversation a bit back to, what happened before that move, because that's that emotion. Where it was actually stemming from that trepidation, that uneasiness of, especially if you're, feeling quite shy and, not wanting to put yourself out there into that situation. I saw it, didn't you?
I think you just nailed it right there, actually. I think you just nailed it. And this is interesting, like that feels there's something very personal for me in that right there.
And you can feel that physically as well. Yeah.
As soon as you said that, of the not wanting to put yourself out there. But the thing that I'd love to check in on is, because as a human, and we all tend to do this, and I've studied modern psychology and I teach NLP and practice that, there's the human part of me that wants to go and explore more and get meaning and validation and all of that. But is part of the magic of energy healing or forensic healing to just have faith and not worry too much about the nitty gritty and the detail. Like, we don't need to. Can you talk a little bit about that? Would you mind just explaining that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm the same. I love knowing, and I find through my energy healing work, energy medicine work, that I tend to go into the brain a lot and set the intention to rewire what's happening energetically in the brain, and then relating to the spinal column, and then around like the whole body. A lot of what I do, and every single session that I do, is based on intention. So, you know, if you had come for a full session, then we would have put together a full intention about what you either want to release or how you want to feel. So your intention around weight is like, what's blocking me? If you're actively looking to lose weight, then the intention will be around what is blocking me from achieving my ideal weight, for example. And then we would go through, as I say, in a lot more detail to find, it could be something in your energetic field, which I can pick up, or it could be, going back to age and releasing that emotional link that is still, like, because what we do is we carry around all of the situations we've been in, all of the, like, you know, our whole life is we're literally carrying around with us our experiences. And the negative experiences have a bit of a stronger vibration, and they kind of like vibrate a bit. They vibrate a bit more and have their impact on us for a lot longer. So it's all about finding that link and dissipating that energy field around that was that emotional link to what's happening now.
Brilliant. All right. And so this is something I'm very interested in to go further. I won't interrupt too much the process now, but when you do work with that, like let's say I booked a full session, which I definitely will, because I'm, you know, curiosity's got the cat, and I want to actually just see what comes up. But are you able to help people get a result? So let's say I say, is the losing weight, I want to unblock that. We could get a actual result in that space where you could unblock something for me and free that up. Yeah, cool. Love it. All right. Sorry, you carry on with what the next step was.
So what is going to be, so if we wanted to clear, let me just come back here a bit. I've been taking notes as we go. If we wanted to clear Jodie's power and trapped negative life patterns, can we do that now? And what's the best healing pathway to go through? Let's do a letting go. I think that one's a really nice one. So in the forensic healing pathway, that there is called the letting go healing. What number is it? 4, 5. So it's really interesting, Jode. So in a full session, and you'll get to experience this, we don't finish the session until we have cleared everything. In some cases, like I've had like half-hour sessions, like you know, with people, and it's just like done and dusted. That's the healing pathway, that's resolved, and that's done. And then I've had others which have actually stretched over a couple of sessions because there has been a lot to clear. And in some cases, I can't even start the session. This happened with my client just last week. I couldn't even start the session until I had cleared something else. So it's absolutely, you know, it's just everyone, we are so unique anyway. And it's really interesting to see, like, you know, the different patterns that we come with, and you know, all of the experiences that create, you know, Jodie Nevid is, it's amazing. So we're going to run a really nice, quick letting go healing. So we're going to do we need a letting go scan list? 1 to 10, 11. I'm going to do the letting go that's coming up is actually of being a victim, and the way that I see this playing out for you is that, you know, when we are young and your parents say we're moving to another suburb, you don't really get, you know, a say because it's just what's happening anyway. So, you know, and I think that's the to me that really is showing up as that link to that energetic response. Like, you know, you've just been told that you're going to move and you're kind of at the mercy of what happened at that time. So I'm just going to repeat some healing statements now, and I'm going to just do them on behalf of you, Jodes. So I, Fiona Burnett, on behalf of Jodie Nevin, now request the powers of divine light, divine blessings, divine healings, and divine source to safely release, detach, remove, and disconnect all negative attachments and connections of being a victim from age 12. I'll just let that run through. So I can feel energetically that my hands are getting like really quite warm. Yeah. And some of my clients feel it energetically and some don't. So it's really interesting. I feel it internally, I suppose. I get like quite warm and I can feel it in different parts of my body as well. So that's just letting that run through. So that's kind of me feeling like it's just that time taken for that energy to flow through into the space and help clear that.
Okay, great.
Right, so Jodie is now free to release herself and let go of all negative cords and attachments and guilt feelings of being a victim from age 12. She can now choose to be free and empowered in her life and through her choices. These negative attachments and connections are now dissolved with light and love, and you are now free from this point forward. Boom. And that's done.
Thank you for my freedom. Well, this is amazing. And so I'll be very interested to see. I'll book in a full session with you to get any loose ends tidied up. But, I'm always curious to try these things. And what I find most fascinating is that as you were, it wouldn't make sense to most people, but I know for me, based on exactly the conversations I'm having with a few people in my life and exactly some of the ways that I'm feeling, and I never would have made that link, Fiona, that from back at 12, and it feels very strangely relevant, and I'm like, there's a part of me going, am I just making these links to make it link? But it feels very...
Oh, no. Yeah. I think that every time, because I read what comes up, and I just laugh because it's just bang on every time. And I'm like, oh, yeah, trapped, of course. That's, oh, yeah, power.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff.
It's super interesting.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
So if people are interested to actually have a energy reading with you, is there anything they need to do beforehand, or is there any work that they need to do on themselves to show up for that?
Really great question.
Okay, I found this on the web for
Siri
thought
Siri thought I was talking to her, but I wasn't. I'm not talking to you, Siri.
That's really funny. I think just a willingness and an openness, I think, are the two main key things. And just having a clear intention of what you want. So how you want to feel, what do you want to be different in your life? What are you sick of carrying around with you? And if you're ready, we can move it.
Yeah,
go drum.
I love that. And look, Kate Gardner's still here, and she's giving me her blessings and saying, fly free. Thank you, Kate. I will fly free. Hopefully much lighter as well, literally, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And Kate also has said you are very real, Fiona, which is great. So thank you so much for that. Now, look, is there anything else that you wanted to leave people with, just to kind of wrap up around this work? Anything important that we need to know?
Well, I just wanted to check with you, Jodie. How are you feeling now about that move that happened when you were 12? If you check in with yourself now, what's coming up for you?
It makes me feel giggly, which is a funny thing. Like I feel giggly, like I want to laugh or something. I feel lighter, definitely lighter. And it's funny, the word cute keeps coming up. I don't know why, but it's just this nice little cute light feeling. And I don't even use the word cute ever, so I don't even know where the hell that's come from, but that's just what's coming to me. It's like this light, giggly, cute thing.
Awesome.
I feel curious to go deeper, and I love exploring new things. You know me, I've got a super open mind,
Yeah.
and I'm the kind of person who can listen to someone tell me anything without judgment and go, okay, that's their truth. Like I really don't believe that there's one way or a right way or a wrong way. I think that we live in a world where people get to create their views and their perspective, and then it's our responsibility to just do a bit of a Dr. Phil on ourselves and say, well, how's that working for you? And my view is, if this works for people and you've seen it work for people, then that's all the result. That's all the evidence we need. The evidence is in the results. So I love learning about new things, and I'm loving working with you in your business to help you get this work out even further to the world.
Mm.
And that's another thing, actually. So obviously we're here on Skype through Facebook, but you work with people all over the world, yes, on Zoom, or how does that go?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my sessions, even before what's been happening this year, have been through Zoom or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, I just set aside some time to have a chat to you. You can book an hour session.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've had clients all the way from like Alaska through to Europe. I know.
Wow.
Through the States, through Europe. Yes, my lovely UK friends, and like I love my clients, and I've obviously quite a number from here, from Australia as well. So yeah, you just often feel drawn to a healer, and once you experience that, it's just fascinating and just really interesting.
And tell us a little bit about, because you've done mainly one-on-one work up until now, but you've got the new program that you're taking out to people, the Quantum Experience. Yeah, the Quantum Immersive. Before we wrap up, just tell us a little bit about the Quantum Immersive and how that's going to roll.
So excited about offering this. So, I've had my my journey, I guess, in learning a lot more, many more techniques. I've done one-on-one with my mentor, Mona Delfino. She's in the States, and I've also, the forensic healing program was done in a group setting as well.
Yeah.
And the Quantum Immersive is all about just getting a small group together and really looking at the key parts or the foundations, the elements of life. So we're going to look at environment, soul, like the physical, the mental and emotional aspects. And similar to what we've done now, is just go through together and really shine a spotlight, making those connections on what's happening energetically there. So it's like a sweep through of those different elements of life.
Brilliant. And so when people join you on the Quantum Immersive, they'll be not only experiencing the tools with you, teaching them how to use them, but then having that as a toolkit to use for themselves at any time. Yeah, which I
We're going to go deep on the tools, how to recognise biofeedback. So what I do, you don't see me processing anything, but that was a long journey to get to there. So I can teach you how to recognise biofeedback and how to do that for yourself, so you can get the answers and make those connections and patterns as well. And there'll be group healings that focus on those specific areas, and when you're in a group setting, that energy, you're all there for the same purpose, so just the results are just magical.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. Well, Fiona, I just want to say thank you very much for my free energy reading. That was actually quite an amazing experience. I didn't know what to expect, and I feel somewhat enlightened. Go figure.
I love it. I love it.
So I'm going to book in on your website for a full session. Watch this space, folks. I'll do another video once I've had my full session with Fiona.
Yeah, we can have a chat after.
Yeah, I'll let you know what came up and what I learned. And remember, if you want to have an energy reading with Fiona, obviously yours will be much more private than this. No one else will be watching on board. Jump to her website. We've put the link in the comments there totally free. Takes about 20 minutes. Is that right, Fiona?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a great way to just find out where is that pattern, where did it actually get embedded. So
Lovely.
thank you, beautiful.
Thank
You
you
do
so
amazing
much,
work.
Jo.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we're wrapping up, everyone.
Some chocolate. Ryan said something like hello.